this game.
The other thing we could have seen was maybe Earth Spirit going mid or just trying to get a little more levels early. They went bottom to punish Spectre, and I know it's something that we've discussed a few times now that it feels like teams are not punishing Spectre picks. In a weird way, they were trying to, but they just chose the wrong time to do it against essentially a tri-lane with a lane ward because the Night Stalker was always there.
They could have slow played it, honestly.
Yes.
They could have just gotten a couple levels, pushed the lane in. Earth Spirit can take an Ion Shell, walk into the jungle a bit, like get his own levels while he's doing that, get level 2, level 3. Then they can go with higher levels of Ion Shell, multiple instances of it as well, when the Lion is also low level.
The Sunstrike is higher level.
Exactly.
Get that quick kill instead of a prolonged fight where Night Stalker's right-clicking a lot. And
I feel like they rushed it in that lane.
yeah, they did.
Yeah. That was interesting. I mean, FY was a little bit under-leveled on that Night Stalker early on. We saw he was level 3 well into the game at about the same time that he'd been level 6 in the Beastmaster the previous game, but his contributions to the lanes far outweighed that.
Yeah, he went everywhere.
I just think it shows you the strength of the Beastmaster Night Stalker picks, especially for this team, is because there's multiple ways they can adjust. They can adjust in the draft, and they can adjust like in the actual way they execute it. So we saw an early Beastmaster pick. SVP, natural assumption is that's going to be the FY Beastmaster. It wasn't. It was the offlaner. Ends up being an FY Night Stalker. Even once you know it's an FY Night Stalker, he's not super greedy Night Stalker. He's helping the team Night Stalker, and then goes back to the jungle. So he's very good at making the adjustments.
I also really liked how Vici identified that there's no way that Virtus.Pro can really respond to that aggression in the early phase of early laning phase or anything, because the supports and everything that they had, those heroes don't really TP to help somebody early on. Oracle needs his levels. He needs to sit in the lane for a bit, and then he can start moving around if he needs to. Earth Spirit kind of the same. He's one that could move, like I was saying. He gets an Ion Shell, then he goes for the TP, and he has that extra force. But we weren't able to see it because of the constant aggression from Vici.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to go back to that Oracle pick anyway, so I'm glad you brought that up because that's something that that Gods and I were talking about yesterday. That it seems like in some respects some of these CIS teams would be better off if Oracle just wasn't in the pool for this tournament. Now, Seneko had a very nice Oracle game last night for Na'Vi, so that trend maybe appeared to be going in the other direction. But I just didn't feel the presence of the Oracle at all in this game.
But even that game, if you remember the way it started, it was like Lycan was just getting pooped on. He goes to the jungle, so Oracle basically turns into a core and gets the safe lane. Like, even then, it still was getting crushed in the laning stage. So I don't know. The Oracle picks, if Gods were on here, I'm sure he'd be, smashing things right now. He's not a fan of them, but the Oracle picks have been underwhelming.
I still also really like how they did their wards and everything in that game too. They had the Hawk, of course, for the vision, but they got really aggressive, not normal wards either. We saw a ward placed in like an in between the top tier 1 and the middle tier, top tier 2 and the middle tier 2 in a very unorthodox position. And then they even checked the high ground. They're like, oh, there's no ward up here. Must have just been a Hawk. And it was a Hawk that time. So it was, they went for a D ward anyway. They used 2 sentries. Earth Spirit gets more and more behind. He has no money. They're buying sentries to try to deal with all this. But there's just so much vision on the map. The Beastmaster and then the Night Stalker moving around. Just really well done by Vici.
And you mentioned that earlier, right? Yeah. That's the other way that you counter Slark. You mentioned the silences. We mentioned all the disable, the hard lockdown in their draft. But the other way, of course, that you counter Slark is vision.
Yeah, and you never get the Shadow Dance move speed. You can't sneak up on squishy supports. Like, I think that's actually been the biggest, I wouldn't call it a meta shift, but really like kind of the meta has crystallized around 2 things for me. Mobile heroes that can fight all over the map and vision. We've seen the Beastmaster picks, the Night Stalker, the success of a Puck and Spectre, heroes that can pretty much join a fight from anywhere. Ember Spirits had decent success as the similar thing he brings to the table. The heroes that are less mobile and the heroes that don't give vision, like VP had 0 vision heroes this game, and I think it's one of the big reasons why they got punished. Vici Gaming were able to dive them behind tier 2s, even to tier 3s. There was that early dive where FY actually went all the way into the base to kill off Earth Spirit and then just skated away. Like, those things happen when you know there's no one there to help, and vision is probably the biggest part of it.
You kind of said it too, like right away when they picked the Slark, you're like, there's a Lion here. Like, Huo just had a very rough time versus the Lion, and it was kind of the same thing. He constantly was getting jumped on. There's so many different methods of disabling him.
Yeah. Now, to me, a lot of that, what you were saying, I think that that's a hugely important concept about how the metagame has evolved. To me, a lot of that dates back to CDC at TI5, where they just ruthlessly gained map control and a vision advantage, and were so good at exploiting that. And you saw that in action from VGR in this game, for sure.
Yeah, this is like a slightly different way to do it, because this type of strategy relies a lot more on having the vision heroes and the mobile heroes, whereas for CDEC, it was more, we're just kind of this like battering ram that's just, you'll see the first aggressive move, we'll smoke gank, and then we take all your towers. We drop wards, we get a gem. you don't have any vision and we have a bunch. Now it's like, even if you have your towers, we have these heroes that give vision, and we just have the ability to suddenly sprout 5 out of nowhere. So.
I don't remember the last time in a match before this I've seen like the warding and dewarding game was getting played behind the dire tier 2 towers at like 10 minutes into the game.
And it wasn't getting punished. They just didn't have the mobility to keep up for the most part. Like only Slark could really get in there. And that was not a 1v5 Slark game, that's for sure.
Definitely.
Okay, guys, adjustments going into Game 3. We saw Virtus.Pro make these tremendous in-series adjustments yesterday to turn it around in their match against Vegas Squadron. What do you guys think? I mean, there are some obvious things here, but I think it still bears talking about. What do you guys think that Virtus.Pro need to do going into this Game 3?
I think you said it, and I think you were talking about how Gods was saying it too.
No Oracle.
No Oracle. Stay away from the hero. Maybe the Darkseer was a little bit weird too, but because he just got so punished, maybe they'll stick with it. But I felt like FNG had a better time when he was playing like the Bat Rider or like the Broodmother or something, where he was able to just like put constant pressure on the map. But I also don't feel like they had many ways to push the lanes out in that game. They had the Invoker with the Forge Spirits and stuff. They had Ion Shell, but that was it.
Yeah.
It was Slark with Dark Pact, but every time you're using the Dark Pact, if you're playing versus that lineup, you have to be very careful because you use Dark Pact, you're susceptible to those ganks. So I think having a tool to push lanes out when you're versus so much vision really will help them as well. So I think that's something they could look at.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think looking at a lot of VP's other drafts that have been successful, they have heroes. They have lineups that overall can play offense better. Crystal Maiden, very good roamer. Earth Spirit, great roamer. We saw the Ember Spirit does a lot more than Slark early to mid-game. That won them the last game. They had the Bat Rider, who's the bit of a vision hero. So I think for me, it's two things. It's the vision. They didn't have any. They at least need a hero that's good at dewarding, like Bat Rider. They don't really run Night Stalker much, but that's an option as well for other teams, or Beastmaster potentially. And they need something to take over and have a good start in the laning stage. So whether it's a pocket Broodmother pick, just a stronger support duo that can do more offensively, like those are the two keys for me. And if they don't have that, I mean, Vici is going to run at you. I don't see Vici ever playing a game where they'll sit back. Maybe the first 5 minutes, FY will Iron Talon juggle. After that, he's coming for you, and if you've given him free reign, he's going to punish.
I like the Vici we're seeing today. Totally different than yesterday. Much more together, much more like you can see the decision-making's there. Unfortunately, the first game, some little mistakes costed them the game, but this game you can see how much they all like stuck together.
And it's scary, Alan, because this team has a stand-in. Yeah, sure, a pretty good stand-in, but he's a coach. It's not like he's playing Tier 1 teams in competitive matches, and certainly not on LAN. Imagine if they have no-no. They're scary.
Yeah, that team, I think that's one of the big observations coming out of this tournament, that a lot of us were wondering how much an anomaly the Shanghai Major was in terms of the Chinese scene. And, you know, despite the loss to Na'Vi last night, I think with what LGD have shown, I think with what VG.R have shown, you know, Chinese Dota is far from dead. So while we have a moment here on the panel, I do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors here, EGB.com, the premier esports betting site. If you want to earn some of these proverbial gold trophies that we're talking about, head over there. We got to give another shout out, of course, to The Score. Check out their wonderful app on iOS and on Android. They provide a lot of great original content, employ some people that are friends of mine. They're putting a lot of money back into the esports scene. And, of course, to Twitch TV. Shout out to Twitch chat. Admiral Bulldog S4, please go get ready for your match. Get out of the chat. But otherwise, guys, I know you guys are having fun watching us on chat. And without Twitch, a lot of this that we do in esports wouldn't be possible. So let's take a quick break. With all that said, we're going to... Oh, we are. Okay, production is telling me we are just getting ready to load into our Game 3 draft.
Awesome.
So we're going to see some of these questions that we've posed on the panel get answered right now.
No breaks.
No breaks for us.
Ladder.
This is how we like it, man. This is how we like it. And the Bounty Hunter ban coming out once again from Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, no shocker. They don't. I mean, we even saw Vici ban at the last game, so maybe both teams are just like, we don't want to deal with this hero in any way. It's just obnoxious. Makes you play a completely different game. Makes you start with sentries every single game as well. So,
yeah. So standard opening from VP, banning the Bounty Hunter. That opens up the Jungle Night Stalker, the Jungle Beastmaster. Vici removing the Chen. Enchantress is out there right now, and VP have first pick. So if they want to get their hands on it, definitely
Enchantress out there, Earth Spirit out there, and of course the Invoker playing a big role. This is one of those. Do you put G on his Invoker again if you have the opportunity after the struggles that you had in Game 2? And Game 1 even was not a vintage G Invoker performance either.
I don't know if you first pick it after last game. So it's Beastmaster. No,
Very
they are gonna change up the overall approach here. Vici, they love their Beastmaster. They love their Night Stalker. I'd be shocked if they don't take one of those two here.
Now, it's interesting to me because this is Virtus.Pro going back to the drafting style that they started the tournament with. In their initial series of the tournament, they did first pick the Furion. Looked like FNG was a little bit more comfortable on that hero than some of the other offlane options, but it didn't work out for them.
The other thing that would be nice for VGR is the Sven. Lanes really well against Prophet. We saw a lot of teams turning to him at Shanghai.
I don't see why they wouldn't. Yeah, they're definitely going to pick the Beastmaster, though, right?
Yeah.
They're having
Oh,
such
yeah,
good games with
yeah.
it. Like, it's on Dire as well. It excels really well.
I think he offers you a bit more right now than Night Stalker, who is like all about the vision and the early ganks. Beastmaster scales better, so
Wow.
Beastmaster Gyro.
And they're
instead
gonna
of
go right for
Sven, they
Gyro.
go for Gyro, which can
Deals with the
offer you
Furion.
more in the early game fights, but it's still same concept. Lanes well against Furion and
Absolutely.
comes online early.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Furion pick? I know it was banned first to the last game, but it's been having a pretty atrocious performance at this line so far.
It's 2-7 at this event so far, and I still obviously think it's a very strong hero. But I brought up the stat the other day that Furion goes from about a 52% win rate in 20 to 40 minute matches to like a 35% win rate when the game goes past 40 minutes. At some point, he's always going to be that high net worth hero. He becomes a walking bag of money.
And it's so odd because we've all seen those crazy rat games, the late game Octarine Agatims, or just 6-slotted Prophet who's constantly backdooring you, and those like really stick in your craw and your memory, and you're like, God, this hero's so strong late game. He's everywhere. He can push in all the lanes, but at the same time, his strength really is getting ahead early, kind of like an anti-mage, and looking to take advantage of that to close the game out or get a decisive lead.
Well, but I think that discussion bleeds over into some of the other heroes that we've been talking about here, that it's less a function of these particular heroes being overpowered or underpowered and more to pick a Furion in this tournament. You've always had to pick it very early in the draft when the other team still has a lot of space to counter it, whereas Spectre, on the other hand, has largely been a 5th pick, largely been a, okay, this is a good game for this particular hero.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, G,
I
underwhelming
still
performance.
I still can't believe
the
those
whole
numbers.
tournament, to be honest, and it's not to rag on the guy, but we expect so much out of him. You go back to TI5, he was massive in that tournament. Like top 2-3 solo mids for me in the entire event. Even though they didn't finish that high, he had a really strong performance, was constantly getting banned out, and still managed to find a lot of success. Yeah. So we'll have to see if he can pull it together here.
He even played, to me, he even played well on an individual level at the Shanghai Major, despite the team not necessarily performing up to their expectations.
And the Lion.
Yeah, Vici's just getting exactly what they want, it seems. You know, they have comfort heroes again. DDC's been playing this. I mean, his Lion's been like just perfect. Like the way he saves his hexes is super ideal. A lot of players would use it every time the cooldown's up, but he's been really good at saving it. His stuns have been on point. We've seen like 2 or 3 men like ravages, I guess you can say, but it's been completely on.
And the great thing about the Lion picks is what you were mentioning, Alan. You don't have to pick this like first 2. That's normally going to be around 3rd, 4th. If it does get banned, that opens up some other heroes. So as far as VGR, I think my big question is, what is the Mikasa hero this game? As for VP, they go into Avenge.
This
starting
could be
to feel
core
like
Avenge.
could be a core Avenge. Starting to feel like maybe more of a push strat. There's a Juggernaut out there. We've seen the Helium Ward Witch Doctor combo, and even pushing through like massive AoE combos at times.
Do they try Brood again, or do they go for something like a Darkseer for Vici?
Darkseer feels safer, for sure, but VP aren't that good at dealing with a Brood.
I don't know. Are you sold that this is going to be an FY Beastmaster?
It's totally. I think it's more likely.
It's open-ended. They can save it.
Yeah.
They can still like decide which one they want to do.
I love the options
They don't.
that you have right now.
I would venture they probably haven't decided.
Yeah.
But generally, more often than not, it will be FY.
I'm just not. The only reason I asked that is because I'm not really seeing an exact Mikasa hero that's standing out to me. I know he's played like the TA and stuff in the past, but we haven't seen it at this tournament. He's been playing the Puck, the Queen of Pain, the Death Prophet. I'm pretty sure that's it, except for the exception of that Windrunner, which he played in the offlane.
Yeah, now that you
Is
mention it,
is this a Drow strat potentially? Is there any way you
for
can
VP, absolutely, potentially.
It's good versus Gyro. Pretty decent versus Beastmaster.
But don't you almost have to grab up like the Windrunner here as VGR just because that's. I don't know. It's hard to say because we don't know how deep Mikasa's hero pool is. Was known for the TA at one point.
They're
Oh, boy.
They're really solidifying against any sort of push. This
So-
gives them team fight, but also gives them more deep push.
Does that make it a Yang Beastmaster? You're not going to run the Earthshaker in the offlane right now, are you?
I mean, you can't really call it like that still because they could just change it up depending on how VP responds.
Man.
But I don't think you'd see that. I mean, MVP is probably one of the only teams that we've seen really running that Earthshaker offlane. I think Universe has been picking it a bit in like pubs and stuff, but we haven't seen it come out into play into any like actual tournament play again in a while.
The other VP hero I was thinking about was something that we've seen a lot out of. Na'Vi has been pretty successful, I would say. The Lycan. But Lycan in this game up against Roar, now the fissure blocks.
So much disable on VG.
So much disable. It just feels like they want to push based on those first 3, but I don't know if they can with the way VG's developing the draft.
Yeah, that feels like a theme. This is the same thing that we were saying in that last draft after the first 4 picks, that VG Gaming, they've picked so much disable, they picked so much that combos well potentially into team fights. I just really like this draft again from them so far.
When was the last time we saw an FY Shaker?
God, it's too long. It's been
way too long.
Yeah.
Shaker's not the best Iron Talon candidate.
I feel like any hero
Jet
can
Totem,
go out.
Iron Talon.
Think of the possibilities. Go around with no fissure.
Yeah.
So what are we
Yeah,
looking
that
at for
sounds-
that
VP
sounds
here in this
That's
slot?
awful, actually.
It's like the worst thing you could probably do. So VP,
Do they go for the Sven here?
There's so much control for Sven.
okay, they do want to show their
Spectre,
mid
ban,
laner.
do you ban the Spectre now?
Yeah, they have Fury
Yeah, I
on
guess you
Spectre.
have to.
I mean, Fury on Zeus. I think if just to not have to
ban
deal with it.
Not
But
even worth
this is making me so nervous now, because this now we really have gone almost completely back to the drafts that
instant.
VG had on that VP had on the opening day of the tournament.
Instant Spectre ban. That was like 3-4 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, get that shit out of here. You're not going to global us. So, who's going to have the next pick coming out of this? It's,
What? Oh, Vici.
yeah,
sorry.
VG. So VP will get to decide their carry last, which is kind of nice. But I feel like VG's pretty well rounded, where there's not that one hero.
Juggernaut ban.
Templar assassin.
They go
And
back for
there's-
the
oh,
Mikasa
wow.
TA. All
You
right,
know,
so that was
God's mentioned
Yeah.
before there was Shiki on C deck. Mikasa was standing in, and they were running a lot of the same heroes. And hey, this is a Shiki classic.
I felt like that. I mean, that was the last hero that we know of him to be playing so much. Like we saw all the other ones, and then this was the one that he's played in the past. So not too much of a surprise to see that there. It's quite decent
Great
versus
against
lineup.
Zeus. as
Oh, I was
well.
just going to say that's brutal for G. And this is again the same situation that we saw them on in day 1. G potentially getting punished in these 1v1 matchups. They need a plan to help him mid.
So what is the carry here?
Yeah, that's the Sven.
Sven.
It is
It's very
Sven.
good versus Gyro, very good versus TA. It's definitely the pick there. Quickly,
All right,
what do we
boys.
got?
I like VGR in this one.
I like VGR. I think the only way VP wins this is really good Nature's Prophet play.
I
from
like
FNG.
VGR, but I'm gonna go with VP just to kind of change it up a bit.
Change it up.
Okay, so
All
there won't be 9 trophies sitting
No
on the table,
clean
guys.
sweep on the panel, but we're going to send it back out to our casters for a decisive Game 3. Take it away, KotLGuy and Ryuu.
Thank you, Nahaz. Here back at the arena, of course, with Ryuu. So we get to see now VG Reborn, the Mikasa signature pickup in TA. We've been waiting for it. Now we get to see it here. And for Virtus.Pro, as Nahaz was kind of alluding to, kind of falling back on their ways on what they came into the tournament with. What are you thinking about this matchup
I mean,
now?
there's just no mids left to pick, and against the Zeus, this is perfect for TA. I honestly would have picked VGR, but because I don't like my other former Allen, I'm going to go with my buddy Fogged here.
He really hit you when he said he was the best Allen, didn't he?
Yeah, oh, that guy, oh, he irks me. No, I'm
All
just
right,
kidding.
we'll
I love
see.
you, Allen.
We'll see who's going to be right at the end of this one. For one of these teams, though, they're going to be moving on in the next round. The other, unfortunately, their journey here in the Starladder I-League Invitational will conclude. We'll see how things do decide to pan out here as we do get underway for game number 3. It does look like FNG is going to be sporting the Fungi build up here on his Nature's Prophet nearby. No surprise to see G, who's going to be sporting the Zeus along the bottom. Yoku on the Sven. We're going to have No Fear accompany him by the Witch Doctor. And, of course, Aloha dance on that Vengeful Spirit. Across the way, Yang is going to be picking up the Beastmaster in his off lane. He's trying his best to quickly get in there and get the ward down. Will he get spotted doing so? Does not look like it. He'll get the ward down and be able to 180 back to the lane. No surprise to see Mikasa sporting that TA. FY, haven't seen him play the Earthshaker in quite some time. He's going to be sporting here for Game 3 as DDC will get a reprint on his Lion. That will leave none other than ZYF on one of his favorite pickups, the Gyrocopter.
Yeah, this is just a really good lineup for VGR right now. As you keep looking at it more and more, it's just they have everything stable. It looks like they should be able to win the mid lane, TA versus Zeus. And then the top lane, Furion, I think he can get harassed and even killed. I mean, Earthshaker potential roaming anywhere right now, it's scary. It's like what we used to see, you know, Earthshaker plus Shadow Fiend, Earthshaker plus Lion. I mean, that is very scary in its own right if you get a good block off.
Will be a nice little throwback here to see the resubmergence of the Earthshaker and the TA here for the side of VG Reborn, but we'll have to see how much it can really thrive here in the matchup. Respectable block from FY. Mikasa will look to take it over, but you could say just the same here the other way. Let's see here. Ooh, looks like it's going to be potentially Mikasa with a bit of the high ground advantage on this one. And when you're already a TA, this could be a nice little boost for him.
Yep, he's already pulling the creep wave back too. He can play very aggressive here. He's not going to go for that deny. He's going to get this one. Yeah, this is just a brutal lane for Zeus to work with. At least G's doing the right thing and just trading right clicks as much as you can against the TA. That's what you want to do. Meanwhile, top lane, the Rocket Barrage is being soaked up. Nature's Prophet doesn't have a TP. He can buy one right now, but FY has a stun. This looks to be our first blood.
He's got a golden totem with the name on it. Hey, how you doing right there? That's going to be 1 stun. That's going to be 2 stun. And this looks to be your first blood. Really nowhere to hide here for FNG. He's just going to try to stall them out. He's juking and jiving here, but not going to be able to make it away. Your first blood will be to DDC, as VG.Reborn will be able to strike first. While this all happened, you know, we saw the early ward go down from Virtus.Pro, try to block out this side camp from the Beastmaster, but they did commit the sentry to get rid of it. So Beastmaster will have that side camp to work with now, and away we go.
Yep. And did they just put a new one here, though? They just put a new one here.
Yeah, they went in again with it. I was
so
like,
now
man, that's a different sentry.
Yeah, then now Yang has to go back into zone. But he's FY. He's like already up to almost level 3 here. This is what happens when you can't block out all the creeps in the game. It's unfortunate. So he's still going to have a good off lane. Meanwhile, the Nature's Prophet, at least FNG did, you know, make that play. He's going to be able to get up to his level 2 now. And this is the punishment. We talked about the Earthshaker roaming around.
Looks like they're really trying to assist G a bit further here. No Fear will step in, gets a nice cask, and then walks right into Aloha Dance, who's got the magic missile. Even FNG shows up to help out. And look at this. They decide we're going to ping out this mid-tier 1, and we're just going to go for objectives early.
Yeah, just putting in a lot of harassment on the tower is very good, especially against the TA. It's one of those heroes that has a hard time of, you know, dealing with those kind of ganks, and FY wasn't in position. So really well, I mean, you never expect that sometimes, like Venge plus Witch Doctor. So
the 2 support rotation, yeah, does not happen very often here.
That's the problem, though. When you have Beastmaster going into the jungle, the supports can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So Beastmaster kind of needs to go to the off lane here, or FY. One of them needs to create some space so their mid lane doesn't get shut down like this.
In the meantime, though, looks like FY instead will take his business up towards the top lane here, where also, you know, FNG has bailed away from his off lane and is going to be doing a little bit of juggling himself. So I guess technically from both sides, supports are free to do as they please here. For Virtus.Pro, they've put their attention back towards the bottom lane to work with this creep equilibrium a bit, and so that way Yoku has the full lane experience here and doesn't have to worry about getting it under the tower and to the benefit of VGR. But you could say just the same here in the top lane, as CYF and his gyrocopter should be able to kind of get in the free CS game.
Yeah, you can't really push the tower here for VGR. You're going to have to pull back and get the fast level 6 for, you know, DDC here. And, I mean, this is still going to be very good for them. I would favor the Lions level. It just seems like Lion is the support of the tournament right now, where you just get that fast level 6 and he goes around setting up everything. The push is coming in the bottom lane here, but nice reaction from FY, stunning, pulling the creep wave off, and this push is just going to be turd now. They need to have the Nature's Prophet there, but like you said, top rune contention looks like it's going to go for Mikasa here.
Yeah, he's fine. He's got DDC nearby just in case. It will be an arcane rune that he does snag up. Leaves the bounty at the bottom here, which G is going to be en route to snag up for himself. Hawk will spot all the action in the meantime here, and there's a lot of attention still from Virtus.Pro towards here in the bottom lane. Even FNG rotating in. They make their move for FY here. Can't even get a Fisher off as he continues to get locked down. Will be able to get it off there, but it's a bit too late for him to save himself. And now this turns into a 4-man push in the bottom lane. Virtus.Pro get another kill and send their lead forward 2-1.
Yep. This is what they need to do to kind of win, because like you have the problem with the matchups in the laning phase, whereas you have the Beastmaster constantly getting levels, FY can get stuff done, and you have to punish him when he goes to this bottom lane, and they're doing a really good job diving behind the tier 1 tower, and they know the TP rotations can't really come out from anyone else because the Beastmaster's jungling, and Gyrocopter is not level 6 yet, so Yang?
Ooh, gets hit up with the coconut here.
Oh,
he's to go for a side step.
Well, he does come.
Rocket barrage on the Aloha Dance quickly takes him down, and now even Yoku going to get dropped by this one.
Way too aggressive, and I've been proven wrong here. I mean, what? Wow, that was just, you never expect that. Gyrocopter at level 5 immediately rotating. That's why ZYF is kind of like that aggressive player. You just don't expect that to happen, and
Yeah,
then all of a sudden you
usually,
get burned, because that's the only way they get those kills.
Can't expect the unexpected on that one, and you're right. Usually it's the let's get the call down and let's put it to work at that point, but them going on the assault that much sooner is something VP were not anticipating. Yoku will have to return back to the lane and get back into the grind in the meantime
Your
here.
Beastmaster is level 6 before your gyro. Is this a game? Are we
This
real?
is a game.
Are we
Man.
real life? Oh my.
So Yang with Primal Roar ready to go. We'll need the mana, of course, but this does set up a lot of potential here for VG Gaming to kind of begin to dish out some serious team fight here. And, you know, the one thing they're not doing yet that we typically see on these dire TA games is they haven't made any stacks yet. It may be still too soon, but eventually you might want to kind of build up that side bank account for Mikasa.
He's like, oh, Sven, you're going to stack the enemy jungle, and then we're going to just take it from you because we have the gyrocopter, we have the TA. But no, in all seriousness, yeah, they need to start stacking this for the TA so she can have her, you know, either quick blink dagger to get into these team fights easier, or have that, you know, Desolator go for those quick Roshans or those quick objectives. And top lane.
Top lane, a nice stun setup on the FNG by DDC allows the pick off there for End, aka ZYF. And now it's VG Gaming Reborn who will push ahead 4-2. And mid lane, here comes Mikasa jumping in, has the traps, and G doesn't have the vision to scout them out, but he will be able to put himself back into the safety net. And now No Fear steps in, gets off the coconut, even pops up the Maledict for this one. There goes the Thunder Gods, but Yang shows up, dishes off that first Primal Roar of the game. FNG intercepts, steps in with the TP, and is going to be able to clean up Mikasa on this one. But here comes DDC, lashes out with the stun, not going to be enough to finish off
This region
FNG.
Rune G is a god.
He is just getting the absolute most out of it, but DDC barely able to make it away with what, 3 HP?
Oh man, that malediction coming out. Oh my goodness, or so good there from the Witch Doctor. Normally you're expecting to have the Voodoo Restoration, but level 2 there helping secure that TA kill. Nice work coming in from the Witch Doctor too.
Yeah, very unexpected, the Maledict buildup, especially when they have what is obviously looking like a bit of a push-heavy lineup here as they try to siege their second tier 1 of the game here in the mid lane. Mikasa will be able to make his return, but if he wants to get close up for Deny, he better get there quick. It's not going to be happening. Tower will be destroyed, and Virtus.Pro will begin to boost up some early economy games at just about 8 minutes into this one. They're taking the game right back to even.
Yeah, that's nice. They're putting out the pressure. That's what their lineup's meant to do, whereas VGR, they're just supposed to kind of like counter gank with that gyrocopter, or you can set up things with the Beastmaster Roar. They're going to have a hard time really pushing towers unless they get the kills themselves for VGR. And meanwhile, top.
They pinged out where ZIF was, and he tried to step in with the call down, but it is going to be a swing and a miss here by the gyrocopter.
That was still a good play coming in from ZYF. Venge has been able to, he TP'd up here at level 3, and now he's level 5. He's just had this free farm for the last 2 minutes, and that's the problem early on for VP was their levels, because they rotated to that mid lane, and then all of a sudden, they're golden now. They have the 5 on the Venge and the 4 on the Witch Doctor, so they're doing good. But FY is just, I don't know how he gets all these levels right now. And this Earthshaker, man, it's absurd right now.
Almost level 7. He has Arcane Boots and now can begin his track towards getting up that Blink Dagger now. And the lockdown potential from VG Gaming Reborn will really begin to surface at this point, and they feel like it's time to fight. 7 seconds for the call down. By the time they are able to kind of get into a skirmish, it should be up and at the ready here as they begin their smoke movement. Uh-oh, 2 ships in the night. Look at this. VP head up to the north. Oh, but No Fear gets close enough to spot the smoke, and now they look to potentially engage. And yeah, they block off No Fear here. Oh, they make some big bursts here for ZYF. Turns it around with the call down. Thunder Gods, and boom, there comes the Wrath of Nature from FNG. We'll be able to get the finish for the gyrocopter, and when it's all said and done, will be the one-man pickoff, and now Yoku shuts up, steps in, gets the stun off, and now Mikasa steps in. Pops out his shield, looks to make a go for FNG, and he goes promptly for the TP out,
away.
and will
He's
be able to make it away.
Here. Oh, this is just trouble.
Man fight happening here between the two, and Yoku with the assistance from Aloha Dance.
He's a man.
Try to man up here. Mikasa says, I'm ready to stand and swing.
You might have to swap. Yeah, Aloha's going to have to force you to swap here. Save him. Don't don't die, too.
Okay, we'll be able to make it away. The martyr in Aloha Dance saving Yoku from that one. A bit of an awkward exchange, but very profitable one at that for Virtus.Pro, getting that ZYF kill.
Yep. At least they did get that, but at the same time happening, Yang is split pushing. He's going for this Necro 3 build, and he's putting on the pressure right now. This is a little bit worrisome for VP just because they're not able to really respond to this push right now. And, well, here we go. Set up. The Vinge doesn't have a stun, but
FNG
nice
cuts
block.
him off on the way out, gets a nice sprout in, and Aloha Dance is there to welcome with the magic missile. Yang even committing the Primal Roar, trying to go for the TP. See you later. Makes it out and back to the base. Good heads-up play by him.
Oh.
Will cost him the roar for it.
They just denied the tower, so Aloha saw the nice dodge. Man,
Yep.
Aloha is just on point right now. Well,
can't dodge that, though. Full rocket barrage just pummels him down.
can't dodge that when you walk face first into that.
Tries to pull out the ankle breaker there, but ZYF will get him in the end. But hey, all the meanwhile,
Oh, they have this scouting
Mikasa
hawk.
with a double damage on top of it.
Oh, he's going to get those two and the fourth
and the
one.
dragon,
Not
so
like
much
this.
farm going to be taken away from Mikasa.
Oh.
Very fortunate timing.
Can I have a
Very
show
fortunate
fight
rune.
recap for that, please?
That is, I mean, that might as well be a hero takedown. I mean, that is
That's
just,
a hero plus some. That was
Look
like
at this.
400 or 500.
She's got freaking 2K gold just about saved up here if she wants to go right for that Blink Dagger. I mean, you mentioned the possible options for the TA in this game. Which do you think would be the better option, though? As Mikasa looks for blood, the DD is still kind of there. Boom, boom, bang. 3 hits is all it takes. But now Mikasa could lose his own life. Buy the Blink Dagger if you must here. Could be going down, but then suddenly ZYF shows up and says it's not going to be necessary. Plops down the call down. There's
Nice
the
swap
dunk from FY. A swap back to save Yoku as he's going to be able to make a hasty retreat. Him and FNG badly beaten and bruised, but
And
they
the
will
Zeus
live
did solo killed by DDC.
on. Oh.
And this is looking so bad for VGR right
he
now.
even used the finger. Still has it up.
Oh.
Oh,
Maybe he
man.
was just farming or something. If he didn't use the finger, I don't know how he got killed just by DDC, but
Primal
maybe
Roar's
Yang.
still good
Yeah.
to go. If VG Gaming want, they can just keep fighting right now. I didn't catch it either, but gee, in a bit of an unfortunate situation in that one, will lose his own life. And I don't want to be speaking too soon here, but it's starting to feel like a bit of a repeat from game number 2 by VG Gaming.
yeah,
Mikasa now has
especially
that
when
Blink
no
Dagger.
fears. Oh, it
And-
scouted him out of
But they
these.
scouted 3, and he quickly blinks away.
You know,
Get
I have
2
a
blinks
very
instead.
big problem when there's a TA running around the map and nobody's carrying dust. I guess FNG does have it here for the Nature's Prophet. He keeps TPing into the team fights. Zeus does allow to have vision, you know, when he bolts or Zeus ulti. So they have ways to do it, but I would really like the supports to at least have something on them when they set up for the gank. But that's talking about it. FNG, he's constantly coming to these team fights. He's only level 7 now. As whereas the Beastmaster is level 9, he's got his boots or his Necrobook 1 already. So the discrepancy between these offlaners right now is becoming huge, and this Nature's Prophet seems to become more of a liability.
So what do you do as the comeback here if you're FNG? For now, he'll pay attendance to the top lane to help prevent the push, but does he just need to spend a little bit of me time right now and just kind of farm up?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's kind of like difficult this game because I feel like he's kind of scared to get kind of picked off constantly. Just because VGR, they've applied so much pressure around the map, he doesn't feel safe going anywhere, and they can't really bait him either. We see what happens. Like, VGR just blow up heroes. So VP's time to shine is going to be very soon here. They have the potential now. Blink on Sven's first.
Okay, they scout him out with the Zeus ulti, but it's too late. They've already made the retreat, and this smoke is not going to lead to a whole lot here. Meanwhile, VG.Reborn say, you're going to be checking out that top lane. We're going to go ahead and check out what Roche is up to. They make their move into the pit and look to battle it out for the Aegis here. Obviously, FNG is going to be scouting it out.
This is going to be so bad for VP.
What can they do about it? They really want to try to contest.
Oh, it's very low.
The Wrath of Nature, pretty nice here. Yang is low, and now he is actually trapped in from the FY fissure. He will end up going down, but the call down is going to be there as VG.Reborn make the move in. FY jumps in with a dunk. They're going to get quick work onto G. They get a good follow-up onto the Witch Doctor now, and oh man, Virtus.Pro begin to crumble down one by one here. Even Aloha Dance, desperate, hiding with the golems here. Save me, brothers. Not going to be happening.
Got ogred.
It's all ogre there for Aloha Dance.
But even though that was very, very bad for, you know, VP there, at least they got rid of the Aegis. Like, that is your saving grace there. And that makes it so that VGR won't feel as comfortable sieging the next tier 2 towers, tier 1 towers. So at the end of the day, sure, you fed over a lot to VP, but they can still make something happen now, I feel, on the map. Whereas before, they would have had to split push the map constantly and avoid team fights. So At least that's they're going for them. But VP right now, they just need to get their farm going for Yoku. Once he has that BKB, maybe that's when they're going to try to, you know, take a team fight. But until then, they have to be very cautious, not getting picked off around the map.
It's going to be hard, though, because it seems like with VG.Reborn, and for the most part, a lot of their ultimates, a lot of their big team fight has some pretty low cooldowns, so they're always ready to kind of make a rumble here.
ZYF.
He's trying to go to the side shot, but Aloha Dance and FNG are both going to be there, but he says, I'm ready to square up, pops down the call down. Rocket Barrage is going to be there. FNG in a bit of trouble.
Blink.
Nice two-man stun comes out from DDC. They're going to quickly wipe out one, and they're going to make it 3 at the end of this one. 4 as they just slaughter down G. Not looking good for Virtus.Pro here in game number 3 as VG.Reborn take another significant team fight.
You just can't make that play when you don't have all your heroes there. I mean, you don't have your Zeus, your main damage source for the magical part, and then you don't have your Sven with his God Strength. This is just...
Uh-oh. They've spotted Yoku here. He's trying to farm up. FY leads things off with a fissure. Oh, jump in. Nice blink dodge there from Yoku. We'll lose the rest of the farm, but at least we'll be able to walk away with his life.
Yep, this is quickly getting out of hand. VP just decision-making in the last, 6 minutes have been a little bit rough for them. As whereas you could just say VGR just playing absolutely amazing, and their early game is just superb to watch. It's just crazy how you can see these supports just get so much. I mean, you have FY already having Blink, 1K gold almost, and then, Lion, if he didn't even go for this urn, I feel like he would have it, or even the arcane boots, so. This is...
Okay,
G
Gaming, they want to end this one sooner than later. An immediate jump and dunk right onto G's head, takes the Zeus right out of the game. He's been brought down time and time again. And now 1-4 for him. Here comes VG.Reborn now, ascending into the high ground for this one. Don't have the roar, they don't have the big ultimates, but without Zeus here, without any way to really spam out the lane, I mean, Sven is not ready to really take a big fight. Man, they just move right in for no fear and just quickly execute him with the help of that finger from DDC. This one could be over just as fast as it started here, Ryuu, because now already the racks on the verge of going down. You can see FNG trying his best to split the pressure and at least find a tier 2 for Virtus.Pro there in the bottom lane, but the racks does end up going down. Big boost here for both the money and the morale of VG.Reborn.
I'm trying to figure out how VP can really get back into this game, and it's not really clicking for me. Is this Zeus and this, Nature's Prophet, you just have to get stuff done early on, and once you're on the back foot, it's so hard to do because of the mobility factor from VGR, the vision, and was it Courier just sniped the Radiant one? Oh my, or was that the Dire? Yeah, that was a Dire one at least. So FNG helping his team a little bit, but G is going to be 1-5 now. That's a 3-shot. That's painful to watch.
Ouch. It almost feels like it's tilt mode now for G at this point.
I feel like he's died like 3 times in the last 4 minutes or something. He just can't go anywhere on the map. You see the problems with, Zeus picks, especially when you don't have a Spectre on your team. It's just what are you really setting up for?
Here comes VG now. Already did significant damage toward the northern base of Virtus.Pro. Now looking to eliminate this tier 2. Options available for Virtus.Pro seem to be few and far between. And we just have to see what they're going to be able to do to buckle down at this point. You just have so much going for VG.Reborn. The Blink's now coming online. Look at the Gyrocopter. He now has a BKB. How the hell are you going to be killing the ZYF Gyrocopter now? Zeus is just completely rendered useless at doing any sort of relative damage to him. They have plenty of kiting potential to deal with Yoku and his Sven with the help of FY and his fissure game. Mikasa is going to be jumping in and out, hitting hard. There's just very few outs at this point for the CIS squad.
Yeah, I think it's just a big mistake. Just keep giving these teams Lion. Why do it? Why even risk it? I mean, eventually teams are going to play Queen of Pain or Puck. It's just, you just see how much Lion gives to this game. He provides solo kills. He solo kills a Zeus here or there during the game. I mean, it's just maddening to see how much effect, and FY can make anything work. I think I've learned that throughout the series here. Yeah. And
didn't need a Talon for this one.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. He's got a point booster.
4-1-9 for FY. Really good stuff.
And after going down their checklist, they get that tier 2 in the bottom lane. They just swoop right back up for this mid lane and will begin to siege from the low ground here. They will be able to get the tier 1 top for Virtus.Pro, and they'll take any sort of scraps of farm that are available on the map. But oh, look at this net worth. A slippery slope all the way down for VG.Reborn, a huge boost for him.
I would say they have like a 10% chance to win from MVP. Maybe even a little bit lower, but because Sven was able to at least get this BKB, he's going to have not free roam necessarily in a team fight, but if he can get a good initiation onto 2 heroes and the roar doesn't come out on him, then he won't be kited, hopefully, during these team fights because they don't have the 4 staffs quite yet on the heroes. And so it's just going to have to be on the backs of Yoku as well as, you know, maybe... It's just so hard right now.
Aloha dance to save Yoku if necessary.
Yeah, we haven't even seen that. I mean, Aloha dance has to save so many people this game. G just keeps dying constantly. And
he's trying to, I mean, he has the arcane boot, so I imagine he's looking to split it apart for the ether lens, which I think he might have just grabbed now. Yes, he did. So it does make the level 1 swap a bit easier to work with. He will have to be a serious safety net for Yoku. If so much is going to be weighing on his shoulders, you know, he is going to be the one hope. But the options begin, like, now even the TA picks up her own BKB.
Yeah, they just can't even kill. Like, even if you kill off the gyrocopter, TA is just going to 5-man you or kill all of you. It's so difficult.
Was a bird. I don't know if it actually spotted out this smoke. I don't think so, just based on the body language here from VG.Reborn. But that could be just them feeling confident to take any sort of team fight. Oh, they're tempted to make a move in for ZYF. The Roar is going to be out, and he's going to live and be just fine. Steps back, BKB is going to be out, and now Mikasa goes to work. Quickly rids of the Witch Doctor. FNG does step in for the fight, but he might have stepped himself into trouble, and just as fast as he TPs in, he tries to TP out. He will be able to make it away, but all the meanwhile, ZYF gets the catch, finishes off Aloha Dance here, and godlike performance him on this gyrocopter. He's nearly sporting 3K. And now they look to make their push for this mid lane. No BKB is going to be available for the Sven on this defense.
I mean, they even have a mechanism on Lion, even if it was going to look very dire for ZYF.
I saw the mech go off. I'm like, who has a mech?
This is just absurd right now. Yoku can't even go in because he doesn't have
Mikasa,
BKB or God Strength.
Easy work of the supports here at this point. They're going to be able to get the tier 3 down. And with that, they'll just pull back and make the safer play. They're going to beeline it right for the Roche here, get the extra life. I don't imagine there's going to be any sort of way Virtus.Pro are going to be able to stop him from doing this. I don't want to have to say it like this, especially if you're a Virtus.Pro fan, but I imagine they are gripping the towel, getting ready to potentially throw it in, but not before maybe one last hurrah of a defense and team fight.
I got my stress ball right here, too. It's slowly becoming flat. And they're just putting on the pressure. G, once again, will be 1-6 after this. Bad finger, bad manners. At least they do have the swap, though.
He's okay. Don't jinx it too soon. He lives on. They get a swap back for EDC. It's a support takedown. But when you have this much of a net worth lead, any sort of pickoff will get them a pretty damn big reward. Even just the Lion will get them about a 1,300, 1,200 gold swing. But, you know, it's at the exchange of the rest of VG Gaming being able to clean out and get the Roche and get that Aegis here. Stun out from FY is going to be a little off the mark as FNG will quickly retreat out. Back to the base they go, back to the safe of their home.
They have no answer for stopping this Aegis TA, though. I mean, does the Gyro have the Butterfly 2 completed? That would be
he has the Eagle Song in his pocket here. And there's even a Blink Dagger awaiting what I imagine for DDC when he gets back. But yeah, troubles are coming, and there's only a few options here for Virtus.Pro to stop him. Do have good wave clear, though. I mean, you got a Zeus to work with, the cleave of your Sven, FNG with Wrath of Nature. Can try their damnness here to slow down the pressure of VG.Reborn, but you're only delaying what could be the inevitable.
They're just kind of waiting for the Lion to come back. They're going to go for the high ground siege soon here. Once they push out the bottom lane for Yang, they're just going to come group up. And with Aegis sieging TA on the high ground, it's going to be very difficult for them to take her down once, but twice is going to be a very tall task to ask. at least because we talk about it enough, the Zeus has the Aether Lens, so he's able to stay back constantly, but that's not enough for getting rid of the refraction charges. And
FY has an Agnum Scepter.
they have too many items. I can't even count how many they have.
Too many.
They just need to drop some to make it fair. Come on, guys. What is the net worth lead? Oh yeah, that's.
I don't think they care, even if it's
You don't even wanna look at
the
it.
hometown favorites here in Virtus.Pro. VG Gaming, they came to play here in this series, and now they look to make a push here towards the bottom lane. Can Virtus.Pro manage to dish out a bit of a hold? FNG will try his best to slow down, dishes out the Sprout. Meanwhile, mid lane, though, they get out the Roar. They get a quick kill there. G's going to be taken out of this fight. 40 seconds, no buyback for him as they continue to make their moves for this bottom lane. Mikasa says, I'll try to make a go for FNG. Not going to be able to get the finish. Pops out his BKB. A buyback will be there for G. Gets the money for it. Aloha dance. They're trying to kite back Mikasa a bit, and they might be able to at least get that Aegis down. It looks like they will. FY, though, look at him. He's waiting in the pocket. He's got the dunk ready to go, but look at
No Fear.
No Fear says, don't you dare try to dunk. He even gets off the, look at the coconut, look at the death ward. Keeps him back and away, but I don't think it's going to matter because while that happens, ZYF has already moved on in and secured himself a triple kill at this point. Buybacks, though, of abundance here for Virtus.Pro just to stay alive will allow them to have a little bit of extra time to survive.
Oh my goodness, that was such a huge swing coming in for at least Yoku here. At least he can get maybe the next item. I think it's going to be the AC, but yeah, that was way too aggressive from VGR. A little bit sloppy there, and Gyrocopter deciding to go for this E-Blade didn't help out that much in the team fight. That was pretty much like, oh, we already won the game, so I'm just going to pick this up. But it could bite them in the butt later, but they're still looking very good. Like, it just so happened that once the BKBs came down, and like you talked about, the buybacks. 1, 2, no
Not
crits.
enough. No crits there.
Or you're not going to get
crit.
any. Yeah.
He went defusal. I mean, you know, it's still a long journey ahead of Virtus.Pro to pull out a comeback here, but the item choices here from VG Gaming are making things a little bit easier for him. You know, typically your FY Earthshaker may consider something like a Force Staff over your Ags, and maybe a Force Staff would have helped him dodge that Witch Doctor from causing so much trouble, and then he would have been able to jump in and help out the rest of his team. You already mentioned the E-Blade pickup on Gyrocopter could have been obviously more towards a Butterfly, which have assisted a lot when Sven can't really knock him down. And, you know, it's still a long journey ahead. 25K of a net worth advantage, almost the same for XP. It's a cute little defense from Virtus.Pro, but they will need a couple more of those if they want to be able to live on.
Yeah, if G gets caught out, it's just game over. Like, you need the Zeus to stay alive, and he doesn't have the item progression that he desperately needs. It'd be nice if he had like a Force Staff on his own hero here for G, at least so he could be a little bit mobile, even maybe a Blink Dagger so he could stay even further back. But not having any of these, he's kind of forced to kind of come up, and then we just see what happens. VGR just, nice.
Oh, nice catch with a swap. FY will be able to get off the dunk, but he is quickly taken out. Good grab there by Aloha Dance.
Good stuff. And then now, no, that's kind of like their initiator. You know when Venge has been playing so defensive for the whole game, and then all of a sudden you have this aggressive swap, it just like throws the team off guard.
Yeah.
Threw me off guard.
And now VG.Reborn are just going to have to reassess the situation here. We've already committed their Necro book. And we'll be able to get some quick little D wards here as they continue to circle around the front. Yeah, they obviously control the majority of this map and the farm game. But Virtus.Pro still trying to hold on to that high ground defense title.
I think the only way they could really screw up for Virtus.Pro is buying the AC here automatically for Yoku. I mean, he would really love to have it, but if he doesn't have his buyback, it's going to be game over.
Yeah.
And still, VGR is still looking good. They could even stall this out for the next Aegis and Cheese here, and they'll be fine. Like, and it's very hard for VP to go outside of the map besides FNG. So, speaking of FNG, he's got a Force Staff.
Yeah,
I mean,
you need that assistance on mobility.
it's just not the additional right clicker they desperately need, though.
No, this is all Yoku. This game is all on Yoku. I mean, Zeus will help keep the pressure back a bit. And, well, as the game does progress, it makes it a little easier for him as the BKBs, you know, will continue to get used here. But still 8 seconds to work with on your gyrocopter. And
8 on
same,
TA too.
Same goes for the TA.
Yep.
Still lots of time.
Plenty of time.
And
they're already up racks, you know, and they could just siege. It looks like they're kind of going for that weird play, right? They're like splitting up, trying to go for it, but
okay. Huge swap back for Mikasa, and he is instantly dead. They're still going to look to take a fight. A jump in, a call down coming out from ZYF.
They can
and
just
a
take
buy
this
back
now.
there. Yeah, Mikasa buys right back. They want to finish this one. The swap will not be available now. Yoku already committing with his BKB and with his God Strength here.
I wish Yoku would just buy a refresher now. Obviously, it's a joke, but he needs it so desperately. He needs that BKB. He needs that God Strength. This tower
He
is
does
just
not have it, though, and here comes VG.R. They step in the roar for GG. He's going to get forced back and saved. No Fear trying to stay alive. As they put him back in, he's going to be able to get the Maledict off, and ZYF eating a lot of damage here. Could end up going down, going to get stunned up once. They get the one Rax down, looking to go for the second here. I think the ZYF is dead. He's going to be taken out, but the Rax will fall. Virtus.Pro, man, they are making VG.R sweat it out, but VG.R are not deterred one bit. They still are the big power hitters in this game.
Yeah, G has a blink decker. I like this, but he needs to be very careful.
Gets hit up with the fissure here. Buyback comes out from your Witch Doctor. A stun out the front door, connects onto 2. Yang turns back, he'll get sliced apart. A big jump and dunk does come out from FY. Catching out those back liners is gonna quickly get rid of the No Fear Witch Doctor who just bought back. FY able to get off the fissure here, but Yoku jumps up and is able to kind of shred him down.
Really nice play coming from VP, even though it's very hard to see them winning this right now. I'm like, how are they doing it? But we talked about it, the items a little bit weird from VG.R, being a little bit impatient, but at the same time, they got their objective, right? They got the Raxes down in the mid lane, and Virtus.Pro, they do have great heroes for against Mega Creeps. Let's start thinking about that a little bit. I mean, you have the Zeus constantly arc lightning around. You have Nature's Prophet. He helps out a lot. We could potentially see him go for an Ags or something to help push out the lanes. Mjolnir or some things. But realistically, if they don't hold their next bottom racks, I don't think they can hold it. But they're doing a nice job. And I think it's all going to come to this next smoke gank for VP. They have to go outside of the base now. They have to contest this Roche. Else, I think it's going to be too much.
Oh, DDC here. Got that solo kill before, but I don't know if you're going to be able to be granted that kind of opportunity again. And, you know, he went with the Greaves, not with the Blink. Those Greaves will keep him alive for a bit, but looks like eventually they will get him down. All right, you know what? I mean, VG.R certainly helping make this game closer than it probably should be.
And as well as Aloha Dance. I mean, honestly, you want to make those plays, and he's just done an amazing job initiating for Virtus.Pro. Without him, this game would have been over. Without Yoku, as you've been talking about, the game would have been over. And he started becoming a very big problem. AC plus, you know, crit sticker here online. Chrysalis, oh boy.
When he got that takedown of ZYF, he was awarded with a huge bounty of gold. Helped him get that full extra item here, and now you got to be a bit careful here for VG.R. One bad stun placement, Yoku jumps in, he could just slaughter through 3-4 of your team members.
But like we talked about, the kiting of the Sven is pretty easy to do here. They have the roar to still work with, and now they have the force step.
Oh, nice quick
Mikasa.
BKB reaction. Mikasa will be able to make it away, but hey, these BKBs have now ticked all the way down. It's only 5 seconds left here for the Mikasa BKB. Gyrocopter is currently working into the pit. 7 seconds left for him, but they go right for the Aegis.
Yep, this is going to be devastating for VP. Let's see who they're going to put the Aegis on. Probably on Mikasa again.
How about nobody takes it? No. There you go. And this time they'll even take up the cheese. Will be grabbed it there.
He's going to have his Moon Shard now.
And for the Gyrocopter, Satanic is just about complete. Items are getting back in order now for VG.R after sidestepping there a bit.
No Dagon 5 with the Eth Blade for my Gyro? I'm sad now.
Yeah. It's okay, you still have the finger.
Oh, that's nice. It's a good way to put it. I like to see that. Zap.
And well, now with Aegis in hand here, VG.R will have the benefit of the extra life just in case there is a bit of a slip up or one of those big swap initiations. They get to play with the clock a bit while, for Virtus.Pro, smoked up inside their base. They're just waiting for the approach here. That smoke might have been a bit too soon. But they are just anticipating the approach from VG.Reborn and are formulating whatever game plan they can to hold out in a defense.
I think VP were saying, hey, VGR are off the map. We don't have vision. That was before Mikasa went to that bottom lane there. And they were like, okay, I think they're going to smoke gank through the mid lane here and try to wrap around behind us. But it didn't happen. They were just like farming, getting their items. And they're like, all right, well, whoops.
Here they come now. Mikasa from the low ground. One more attack. Come on, buddy. There he goes. He's able to take down the tier 3. Rax is now going to be exposed at this point. Who will strike first at this point? Last approach of the bottom lane. Aloha Dance got the quick swap to get the party started here.
I mean, FNG has the Ghost Scepter, but we talked about it with TA having the death or the defusal.
Yeah.
It's you can just blink on him, two-shot him, but he has the Force Staff. This is very tense right now for VP.
Jump in from Yang. It's going to be a roar. They're looking to get rid of the Zeus. The swap will put him on the side here, but it's not going to be enough to save him. Quick buyback from him, but ZYF already gets a double kill, trucking on forward with the BKB as Mikasa certainly there to assist. Oh, Witch Doctor tries to get off the death board, but he gets quickly Shrek'd apart. Nice cheese there will be had for ZYF to keep him alive and well. FY looking to move in, still holds the dunk if necessary, but it doesn't seem like it will be. 2 will be down, and they're looking to go for Yoku, who'll get hit up from the finger. Will have to buy back. FY jumps and dunk. They're looking to take down the dieback here from G. They will be able to get it. Yoku is back. Rampage for ZYF and his gyrocopter, and that will be the exclamation point on this game number 3 for VG Gaming Reborn.
Oh, no double Rampage. I'm sad now. What an amazing performance there from VGR. I just wanted to spite Nahaz there at the end, but I knew they were going to come out swinging. This lineup, they picked it perfectly. They played it perfectly. I mean, you saw it in the mid lane there. VP did everything they could early on with the rotations coming in with the Nature's Prophet to get some early game lead because they knew, hey, if this game keeps going on later into the game, we're not going to have a snowball hells and chance.
I mean, the VG Gaming Reborn, they made things interesting with their item pickups there at the end, the F-Blade on the gyrocopter, and even FY with the early commitment for the Agnum Scepter, but as much hope as there would have been there for Virtus.Pro, it wasn't enough. They'll be taken down, and with that, they will be taken out. The last CIS team remaining will be Na'Vi in this tournament.
But Na'Vi are on a roll, whereas
they are.
VP, their last draft, we saw how it had difficulties with the lockdown. At least they had some more in this game, with the Vengeful, with the Nature's Prophet kind of roaming around. And then this will be, this is very good now for VGR because they showed us, hey, Mikasa, you are not a weak link. You are an amazing player. You went back. You did whatever you needed to do. He had these one-on-one situations where he thrived on them, and then in this situation, I mean, you're against a Zeus, though. I mean, and that's the problem, right? Zeus for G, it didn't work out at all. But we have an interview.
But you've actually lost your first map. Was it because you were not on the middle lane?
.在选了蜘蛛的情况下，我们是想用蜘蛛来打卡尔的，结果他们 VP 应对的很好嘛，然后有一点点吧，因为如果我们后面讨论过，我觉得风行放纵的话，打了2个他们的1号位还是2号位都可以。
Yeah, something because that I didn't play mid because we picked the Broadmaster, so we really wanted to use Broadmaster to play against Invoker. Yeah.
Okay, the next match will be either Alliance, either OG. Who would you prefer to meet?
就是下把打 OG 跟那个 Alliance 的胜者嘛，然后你想打哪一个？
其实打谁都差不多吧，因为这次我是替补参赛，我们过来就是当吸取一些经验，打谁发挥正常就行，能打到哪一步就到哪，选哪人。
Yeah, OG and Alliance is also okay for us. We didn't need to choose. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, and have a good next match. Yes, and let's see what our analysts think about this game.